Happy Friday, May 2nd. Welcome into Daily Dingers, brought to you by Better in Green. Uh, Last show of the week here. Can't sugarcoat it. Not been a great week of baseball. Gonna fix that here today, go out on a good note, and then come back on Monday, seeing the card better. Might do some weekend episodes. This weekend is pretty busy, so I don't know if I will be able to get anything out, but in the future, might have some weekend baseball videos out as well. But let's get right into it here. A little bit later filming, not in love with this board today, but found three situational plays that we're going to talk about. Going to leave basically all the analytics out. Just a very situational handicapper. I think I've gotten a little too analytical in my handicapping this week, and it hasn't worked out. So going back to what's worked for me here, and let's start 7:05 Eastern start time. The Kansas City Royals head to Baltimore to face the Orioles in a three-game series. This is game one. We have Kansas City as a road underdog, despite going 9-1 in their last 10. They're plus 122. Meanwhile, Baltimore, a team I've talked about a couple times this week, I'm just not that high on, minus 140 at home. And that's the way I'm looking to play it, guys. I mentioned it earlier this week when you have a team such as Baltimore 12-18 against a red hot Kansas City team 17-15, and the team with only 12 wins is a heavy favorite. It automatically catches your attention. Kansas City, off of a sweep on the road against Tampa Bay, I think they're coming into Baltimore obviously feeling very good about themselves. Like I said, 9 out of their last 10 have been wins. But Baltimore also should be feeling good about themselves. They won their series against the Yankees last time out. They had a day off in between that series, wrapped up on Wednesday. They were off yesterday, whereas Kansas City did play yesterday, and like I said, got a win on the road in Tampa. Now had to travel up to Baltimore here, so don't love the spot for Kansas City. I think the line is extremely telling, and we're gonna rock with the Orioles as the home favorite here, minus 140. I would get that sooner rather than later. That line is continuing to creep up. I think that opened right around 130, 135. Also, Kansas City is getting about 60% of the public tickets here. And like I said, that line's moved against them. So always a good sign that Baltimore is probably the side here. I like Baltimore. Lay the minus 140 or the best line you can get at home on the Orioles. Second game up here, we are going to look at the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. This is an 8:10 Eastern start time. Basically a pick'em price. Cubs a slight favorite, minus 115 on the road. Milwaukee minus 105 at home. This one I'm not in love with. I'm not gonna lie, but I lean the Cubs. I think the Cubs are an elite baseball team. They are off of a game yesterday against the Pirates. That series was tied 1-1 before they went out and got the victory. So coming up to Milwaukee, I think they're feeling decent about their last series here. You have the Brewers, who just got shut out by the White Sox, so I do think they're going to show up and be focused in this game. But like I've mentioned a couple times on the show, first game back home after a road trip on a Friday, heading into a weekend, just don't love the spot here for the Brewers. Quinn Priester is on the mound for the Brewers. He's burned me a couple times this season. Not a huge Priester fan so far this year, so yeah, I just think the Cubs, I mean, they just keep rolling. They're a much better team. Now, again, like I said, you have the 16-win team who's basically a pick 'em against the 19-win team. It's not nearly as big of a difference as what it is in that Orioles game, but, the line's a little bit, you would think the Cubs would be a little bit more of a favorite here, so that is giving me some hesitancy. Again, I don't really love this game, but the Cubs have been hot. I don't expect them to go cold here. I like the situation more for them continuing their road trip, whereas the Brewers are first game back home. So I'm leaning the Cubs here on the money line, minus 115. And then we're going to close it out with another one that is pretty telling, pretty gross. So hold your nose when you're making this bet. But New York Mets heading to St. Louis to play the Cardinals. This is an 8:15 Eastern start time. We're going to take the Cardinals. Um, everything really tells me to look at the Mets here. You have the Mets, who are hitting the road off 2 home losses. I believe their second and third home loss of the season, a really good home team. Now they hit the road, which is typically a spot I like to look for. You have the Cardinals, who are first game back home, no day of rest in between. So kind of going against my system that has been pretty profitable for me, but it hasn't worked this year. This was more of a system last year, the year before, that I really took advantage of, and it's kind of bit me in the butt this year. And really, you just go back to the line. New York Mets are minus 115. St. Louis, you can get at minus 105, just a slight dog, despite being 14 and 18, where the Mets have the best record in baseball. It's very telling. Juan Soto just got started hitting really well yesterday, hit 2 home runs. They've kind of lacked efficiency out of him, at least batting this season. And I just think the public's going to rush to the window to bet the Mets. They already have, and the line is moving against them. Over 3/4 of the tickets written on the Mets here. They opened at minus 120. They're down to minus 115. It's extremely telling. So, yeah, typically in this spot, I would look to play the Mets. But again, that hasn't really been working for me this year. We have a fishy line on the Cardinals. Sonny Gray on the mound, which might be part of the reason why the line is so short in favor of the Cards there. But I'm going to take a stab at it. I'm going to play the Cardinals on the money line. I like this a lot more than that Cubs play. And I like the Orioles play. That's probably my favorite bet of the day. So, again, guys, not in love with this card. I don't know if I'll have a play today. If I do, it's probably going to be the Orioles. But just to recap, we do like the Orioles on the money line, minus 140. I would lock that in sooner rather than later. Lean on the Cubs, money line, minus 115. And then we're going to look at the Cardinals, fade the public here. Cardinals on the money line, minus 105. Guys, that's going to wrap it for this week of Daily Dingers. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Throw me a like, leave me a comment. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you do enjoy this content. Check out our Kentucky Derby video we have out right now. Breakdown of all the horses in the race for Saturday. Really, really good video that we did. And we're going to have an update video as well, talking about the scratched horse, who's stepping in. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in betting the Derby. And until next time, guys, enjoy your weekend. Have a profitable night, and we'll see you in the next episode.